Should. Hey everyone, I'm Jackie-Tomlin, and this is When Spirit Speaks podcast. Thank you guys for joining me. Okay, we're flying solo this week. We do have some guests lined up coming in that I think you're going to be rather fascinated with. But today I kind of want to do another spinoff of what I did last week. And last week we did psychics and the paranormal. Okay, so today we're going to do the paranormal during a psychic reading. Okay. We did a lot of experiments. And when I say we, I have a paranormal team that is cvapi.com, Central Virginia Paranormal Investigations. Okay. And we did a lot of experiments and, of course, a lot of testing of equipment. And one of the biggest topics when it comes to the paranormal is orbs. Okay. Other than it's a ball of energy that we all know. But where does that ball of energy come from? Part of an investigation is the fact that we are able to control that environment. Okay. So we know if the air is on, we know if the fan was on, we know if it was carpet, if it was a wood floor, or when someone entered a room or when they exited a room. Okay. But then sometimes there's orbs for no reason. And we've seen them, they've come in and they've circled people. They've done some rather amazing stuff, and I've always said that if I saw one orb, I've seen a million. But the truth of it is there are some that are really particularly interesting, I guess you would say. So, which brought us to me and doing psychic readings. Okay. When I read someone, I read energy. Okay. And I read basically off of first names. I don't need your birth date or anything like that. I read off of first names. If you're asking about yourself, your spouse, anybody, it's all on first names, and it's the energy that I'm reading. So the question was, would there be an orb around someone that I'm reading because I'm reading their energy? Okay. Well, what we found to be true was yes, indeed, there is. Okay. So we could put, let's say I have a friend in another room and I'm doing a reading for them and I'm on surveillance camera. There are orbs in the room. Okay. And the experiment went a little further. Let's say you're at your home. Okay. And we put a camera at your home and I'm reading from my office in my home. We will pick up orb activity around you because I am reading your energy. Okay. So with that said, what I'm leading up into is that I have a YouTube channel. And if you haven't checked it out, be sure to check it out. It's a couple of them over there, but you're looking for the one under my name, which is Jackie-Tomlin. Okay. And we've had some unique experiences happen here recently. During my readings. And it's really ironic because I just started going live with my readings. Okay. Most of them were pre-recorded. I'm not saying I won't go back to pre-recorded, but right now they've been live. Okay. And using the exact same camera that I'm speaking to you right now on. It's a high-end HD camera. Okay. And all of a sudden this camera has autofocus. Okay. And you'll see the camera go out of focus, like it's focusing on something that's not there. And it started happening more often than not. And it's nothing I can make happen. It's nothing movement. As you can see, I'm moving around a little bit. It still stays in focus. It has nothing with me flashing cards on the screen. It has nothing to do with me per se. Okay. One of the unique things that happened was I was recording now, don't quote me on this, but I think if you look up the monthly videos, it was in the earth signs, and I'm thinking it would happen under Capricorn, and someone will comment and leave the exact. I know they will. Okay. But I saw something over here in this corner. And I felt something over there in this corner. So everyone went back and checked it, and you could see there was an orb or something like that. Now, let me also show you this. There is a color changing light over here. And that light was on, but it's something different than that light. Okay. And not sure what it was. I did have one of my YouTubers still framed it, and we put it up on my Facebook. And it was talked about, and many people had different theories on it. Okay. So, but it was during a reading. Okay. It was absolutely during a reading. When this camera goes out of focus, it is generally during a reading. So that was rather fascinating, but it happened. Something else happened to us this week. This week I was recording live, and I was recording your weekly videos. Okay. And there's a playlist that categorizes all of these videos. And I was recording Cancer. And it was for the week of February 13th, which is next week, technically. So I'm always running a week ahead. Anyway, the ironic thing there was there was a sound. The camera goes out of focus and there was a sound. And on my end, it sounded like someone was beginning to speak to me. And I kind of cut it off and said, "Did you hear that?" And of course, there's a couple of my YouTubers that were in that live chat that went back and checked and said that, yes, they can indeed hear the sound. And then I have yet another YouTuber. She's a Virgo. Okay. And she has been catching stuff on my Virgo readings forever and a day. And those are the pre-recorded, and they're orbs. Okay. And she would always comment, "There's an orb to your left. There's an orb to your right. You know, there was an orb that passed your back," or whatever. And there, as you can see, this is a very quiet office. There's no one in here but me. So recently we have added a surveillance camera in my office. So even though you see me recording, there's now a camera recording me recording. So I will keep you updated on how this plays out and what comes to pass with this. But there has been the question of, does anything paranormal happen to the people that I'm reading for? I've yet to have anybody have an actual experience while doing a reading. It is very common for them to have an experience if I'm doing a medium reading. And I want to explain to you what the difference is there. Okay. I advertise for psychic readings, which means my strong point is what is to come. And that is clairvoyant and clairaudient. I'm clear seeing and clear hearing. And we can use tarot if you want to. Tarot is used on YouTube for the fun of it. Gives you a visualization, something to look at. I normally don't use tarot during a reading. Okay. But a medium reading is, I don't do those publicly and I don't do them live because they're very personal and they're very emotional. Could you feel something? Could you sense something? Could you hear a noise in the room? It is very possible. It's very possible, because then you're working with, you know, the other side. So that's going to be a totally different realm altogether. Okay. So I do want to hear from you. I want to hear your thoughts and your opinions on these orbs. If there's other psychics out there that have experienced anything during their recordings, anything like that, I would love to know about it. Now, back in the day, before, you know, we really got into the internet and stuff like that, I do very little local work, but I do some local work. And it was one woman's home that I was visiting, and it was a medium read, and they asked to record it. Now, they didn't have a video camera to record it. She just used audio to record it. And we were able to capture her son's voice as an EVP, which is electronic voice phenomena, during that reading. Okay. And so that takes you on into the world of EVPs, which is pretty much, I mean, is it something that we caught? I cannot say that we caught an EVP on the Cancer reading, because an EVP speaks clearly. Okay. You can clearly and audibly hear what spirit had to say. And in this case, it was a sound. So we don't ever consider a sound an EVP. But I have had people record my calls before and report that there's something on playback, or report that they heard their loved one on playback when they went back and listened to it. We have also had where something has like kind of broke through on the phone that we could both hear, but not sure what that was. So there's many different things, but I mean, it's one topic that I think that is not covered very often is, does that paranormal occur during psychic readings? And I'm going to have to go with yes. If it is a genuine reading, yes, there could be some paranormal experiences. I can't say there wouldn't be. And the other thing you want to test too, like I said, and this is for all paranormal people out there, we test our equipment. Okay. If y'all can see, my camera kind of follows me. It's zooming in and out. Okay. It's the equipment you buy. It's what you put into it, and you've got to know the capabilities of your equipment. And like I said, I know the capabilities of this camera to follow me. I know the capabilities for this camera to do its autofocus. So when it's autofocusing on something that's not there, and you can clearly see my hands are over here, or I am shuffling cards and I am doing my thing over here, there's no reason for this camera to try to autofocus in on something else. And it's the same with one of my handheld night vision cameras when we're on an investigation. We did one, I was asked to do an abandoned home, and in that abandoned home, we really experimented with that camera because I had never had a problem with this particular handheld camera. It's a high-end Sony HD camera with night vision. We paid a lot of money for it, and I never had a problem with it autofocusing, zooming in on something and zooming out, and like it blurs up and then it straightens up, and it blurs up and it straightens up, to the point we really thought there was a problem with the camera. And then we come out of the location and we're looking at the review, and we're torn. Is it the camera, or is it, is it the paranormal? And bottom line is, we could not make that camera do it again. No matter what we did, any other investigation, any experiment we did, we could not purposely make that camera zoom in on something that wasn't there. So this causes me to give a little bit more weight to what we have going on during my YouTube recordings. Something completely unexpected. Really, the orbs on the pre-recordings does not surprise me. There's been so many orbs captured in this house accidentally by people, not intentionally, in photos and videos. And it is what it is. Now, with that said, before you email me your photos of your orbs, there are things that you can look for yourself. Okay. One, blow them up, crop them, blow them up. I mean, honestly, if you're going to send me something, I'm going to look for the meta tag to see if it's an original photo. Okay. That's first and foremost. But, if you yourself want to see if there's something to it, crop it, blow it up. And sometimes you can actually see a face in a photo and an orb. Okay. And I don't think many people realize that there are orbs of different colors, and that applies to it as well. There can be a face in an orb. You're going to look for the direct movement of an orb. Now, you've got to remember, like I said, when we're in an investigation, we're controlling the environment. So I know whether the heat is on. I know whether the air is on. I know you're going to know that. You might not know it when the picture was taken. Okay. Which causes you to question. Let's go back to the days of the film when you had a 35 millimeter with them, or you had a disposable camera. How many anomalies did you turn in to be developed that you didn't get back because they scrapped it as something? Kind of makes you think, because I can go back in old photographs now and find all sorts of cool things. And you kind of have to have an eye for it. I'll be honest with you, my daughter's got one of the strongest eyes for it I've ever seen. But at the same time, you can't question everything to be the paranormal. But when it comes to recording, as in video, and now we have these video cameras, and they're nice cameras on these cell phones. Okay. And it does make you question what you're picking up, what you're seeing. The same way I'm getting reports off of these, what do you call them? The Ring doorbells. I've gotten some extraordinary activity off of the people have sent me off the Ring doorbells because they're high-end cameras. So, I get a lot of you about paranormal equipment outside of night vision. Here's your best piece of equipment right here. The voice recorder apps are just as strong as any digital recorder that you want to purchase. Your cameras are just as nice as any digital camera you want to purchase. Two strong pieces of equipment there, unless you're really seeking night vision. Now, I'll be honest with you, the reason that we do our ghost hunting at night, and not all of our investigations are at night, I want to throw that out there as well, is because those night vision cameras will pick up more than they do during the daytime. And believe me, those daytime orbs are really looked at and pretty significant. And also there's the whole no crossing of your infrared, things of that nature. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of what we're looking for. But what we're talking about is during psychic readings. Can I say this happens in every reading? I don't think it does. I don't think it does. Do I think the paranormal happens all the time? No, I do not. I can tell you this. I live in an active home. It's active at times, it's dormant at times. Can I track it to the moon? Can I track it to retrograde? Can I track it to a special day or a special event? Not really. Not really. And for those that are legitimately having paranormal experiences, will tell you it happens at any time. It's not a daytime thing. It is not an evening thing. It is not a 3 a.m. thing. It is something that will occur at any time. Which brings me up to that whole thing of the 3 a.m. And I'm going to save that for a guest that's coming on my show. We do have different scenarios. We all have different beliefs. We have different things going on. But during a psychic reading, if you are practicing, and when I say practicing, let's say you're practicing tarot, are you going to have a paranormal experience? I don't know. It's all on you. It's all on the location. Okay. If you're practicing anything else, are you going to have an experience? There again, this is on you and your intent. Okay. And you do need to remember that you are kind of messing around with some divination there. So in other words, watch what you're conjuring up. Just want to throw that out there as well, because you tend to conjure up something evil and then call me to take care of it. And I don't like flying that way. So yeah, but the psychic readings I think are really interesting, but I can do, let's say if I'm doing a caller now and that caller is in Michigan, and will that person experience something in Michigan? 9 times out of 10, not. Okay. If I'm doing the same caller in Michigan and we're doing a mediumship reading and maybe we're connecting with his mother, will there be some type of paranormal experience around him at that time? Like a knock in the room, or that he saw something out the corner of his eye, or something, he heard something. 9 times out of 10, yes. So it's all going back to the abilities of a psychic, what kind of reading you're choosing to get, and what you can expect from that. But yeah, I've never done a psychic reading where someone has just reported, oh my God, the furniture moved or something like that. No, it doesn't work that way. But I do think it's really cool that things are starting to appear on recordings. Like I said, I've always pre-recorded my weekly videos or my dailies or my monthlies or whatever, and it was very common for an orb or something to appear on there. I even had one of the local news stations that recorded an interview here at my living room, and they did a retake from the beginning because an orb basically crossed the chair in front of me, and they kept it and they showed everybody in the studio, who they thought was really, really cool, but they didn't want to put it on the air. So yeah, we wound up doing a retake there, on that live broadcast. So yeah, it's pretty interesting how things will happen. But recording live is something I love, and I love the fact that the camera is zooming in and out. I do love the fact that a noise has come through. Maybe an actual voice will come through. We can only hope. At this point in time, I think it's not only that, but I think they realize that I am doing more than just sitting here talking to myself. I think they figured that out, that I'm actually talking to people. And so maybe they like having an audience. Who knows? We'll just wait and see what that holds. But yeah, check out the both of the YouTube channels, Jackie Tomlin, for psychic readings. And that is the one that has the zooming in and out of the camera, as well as the audio recording. And then we have CVAPI video is where you'll find some of my paranormal files. Now, coming up in 2023, I will be producing some of our old cases with the old case information. I may revisit some of these locations and see what we've got going on now, or maybe do like an interview with the family and friends to show where they're at now versus where they were then. Well, we have tons and tons of files, numerous video clips, numerous audio clips, and I think it's going to be just a fun project to put together for everyone. We may even do some more experiments with the paranormal and the psychic readings. I don't see why not. Right now, what we're experimenting with, like I said, we've got a surveillance cameras over here, and it's actually recording me recording. So if I can just remember to kind of throw my hand up to check that camera to see if we are indeed catching something when this occurs, that one, you know, obviously will be cropped and put on the YouTube channel as well for all of you to view. Now, upcoming shows, I want to do some call-ins, okay? I did have one calling in today, but she's sick. And how we would do this is you're going to email me at JackieTomlin.com on my website and let me know you want to call in. If you want a reading, a quick read. Now, I'm not going to do a full-blown read, okay? This is like if you've got a quick question, you want to know something about your love life, you want to know something about your job, something like that. Have you got a quick question for me? Yeah, let's call it in. And you can also text me at 804-731-2302 and let me know, and we'll get you on the schedule. Because I cannot record this show live yet, you know, it will be live when you call in when we're recording it, if that makes sense. But I do want some call-ins. I'm also looking for some guests, something if you've got an interesting story or something you want to share with me. I can tell you that one of the guests that I am bringing on is George Stewart. George Stewart is formerly of 757 Ghost Hunters. CBAPI had an Eastern Division. He played a big part in my Eastern Division. Him and I have done media together. We have done investigations together. We have done public appearances together. He is now married with 2 little girls, and they had a paranormal experience of the different kind, which was like the whole UFO unexplained object. And that was televised as well. So he's going to come on and he's going to talk to us about that as well. Currently, George is also a storm chaser. And we will be talking a little bit about that, how the weather does interact with our paranormal as well. Bottom line, it is all spirit, and when spirit speaks, and he's going to let you know how spirit has spoke to him. And part of spirit speaking to George was during a paranormal investigation. So he's got a rather interesting story to share. And I have a feeling I will probably have George on for more than one show because there is some unique things going on in his life currently. But he can definitely tell you all about when spirit speaks to you on a paranormal investigation and other aspects of his life. So that's what we have upcoming. Now, if you are interested in being a guest on the show, like I said, email me directly, Jackie@JackieTomlin.com. I do want to do a little bit more with the paranormal. I do want to do a little bit more with the psychics and what your experiences are with the paranormal. We are also sticking with the psychic abilities. You know, the topics are vast here of what we're going to cover. If you have not checked out the past shows, I invite you to do so. They're very informative, you know, and I think we're going to touch base probably next week on a little bit more of the psychic abilities, what you can expect from a psychic reading. And it based on, you know, you get many descriptions of a psychic. There is an intuitive, a clairaudient, a clairvoyant. There's the medium, there's the empath. We're going to get a little bit more in depth, so that way you make sure you get the best reading available. And what can you do? What can you do to prepare for psychic reading? You know, we're going to get into all of that. And I think there's just a world of information out there, people that don't know. And, you know, there's also the day in the life of a psychic. We're going to spend a whole series off on that. I'm often asked what my day is like. What my life is like. And we're going to bring on my daughter and give you a little bit more information on how that works and what that looks like. So anyway, guys, thank you for joining me today. Like I said, we've got a lot coming up on the lineup, so stick with me. There again, JackieTomlin.com, and it's 804-731-2302. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.